Howdy, everybody. Howdy, everybody. Can you hope you can hear me? I got a little bit different setup today. All right. Oh yeah, thanks, Seth. It was a great, fun show last night. Fun show. Yep. Appreciate it. Michael, Paul, how's it going? Got a few other Duffers joining in here. How many Duffers we got? We got two evident Duffers. But we might have more Duffers lurking in the background. I know I want to say hi to my friend Ed down in central Illinois. And so let's get started here. We've played 3 tunes so far. I'm going to give you a fourth one today. We're still in the key of G. So let's review something though. Let's go over something a little bit now. Remember, we were going to try to learn all the notes on the G and D string. G. I'm playing the wrong instrument here. Sorry, fellas. D, A, and E strings. The bottom 4 are the low 4 strings. When I say bottom, so remember this is an E. This is an A. This is a D. Everybody knows that. If you've been playing the guitar very long, you can play all the cowboy chords. You know that. So remember now. So let's just see where we're at here. So the 12th fret is the same note, right? Octave away. So we know the 12th fret is the same note. Because I'm eventually going to trick you into learning all the way up the neck here. So let me turn my volume down just a touch here. I think it's peaking a little bit. I'm using a little different mic setup because I've got the big fiddle show is set up in the living room again. So I'm down here in the hidey hole in the man cave. So we got E. We got, that's an E, right? We got A, 12th fret, again A. It's an octave away, right? D. Okay, we're good there. Now, you know the old way of before the electronic tuners, we used to tune by matching one string to another. So if we play at the 5th fret of the E string, that's an A, right? Because that's the same as the note, the next string up, right? Down, up, but I'm going to say up because it's higher. Okay, then same thing on the A string. If I play at the 5th fret, that's a D. Okay. Then if I play the D string at the 5th fret, that's a G, right? So we know those. Okay. Now, if we look at how notes are arranged, 2 of the notes are right next to each other. We think in terms of half steps and whole steps. So if I go from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret, that's a whole step. In other words, there's a note in between. That would be considered a half step. There are 2 notes in the scale if we wrote out a scale chromatically using all the sharps and flats and such. And if you don't understand this right now, don't worry, it's going to be explained many times. But 2 notes don't have any note between them, and that would be E to F. That's always a half step. So E, F natural. Okay, and then B to C is always a half step. To get any of the other next named notes that don't have a sharp or flat in front of them, it's always a whole step. So if I went E, F, what's the next note in the alphabet? G, that's a whole step, and then A again, right? Because there's no note H. There's a preparation H, but there's no note H. So let's learn these big notes on the G string here, on the E string. Sorry. So it's E, F, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. Sorry, G. 5th fret we know is A because that's the one that's the same as the note below. So hey, we're doing good so far, right? E, F, G, A. Now let's learn the big notes on the A string. Now if we play the 1st fret on the A string, remember only 2 of the notes don't have a note between them. That would be E to F and B to C. So to play A to B is a whole step. So it's going to be 2 frets away. So it's B. So the 2nd fret on the A string is a B, right? Then we said that only E and F and B to C is a half step, so the next C is here, right? A, B, C, and then 5th fret is the note below, right? So D. Okay, let's do the same thing now on the D string. So again, we have the same situation. Between D and E, which is the next note after D, there's got to be 2 frets, so it's the 2nd fret. And then we said between E and F, there's only a half step, so this note must be an F. Oh. And then up here's G. that's the same as the note below, right? Didn't we say that? Okay. So let's say the big notes on the G string up to on the E string up to the 5th fret. So it's E, F, G, A. Good, good, good. Then if we kept going, we'd go A, B, 2nd fret, C, 3rd fret, D. And then if we went G, E, D, E, F, G. Too early in the morning. Haven't had enough coffee yet. Okay, so now let's do one more thing, and then we're going to get off of this. But I want you to review this part of the tape a lot and look and see if you can sort out what these notes are up to the 5th fret, because we're going to have them all today before we're done today. All right. So here we go. All right, thanks for the feedback on the sound, by the way. Okay, so now let us say we want to play the notes that aren't just named notes, that possibly have sharps and flats in front of them. So let's look at that one moment. Okay, so if I said that this is E, right, and this is F on the 1st fret, and this is G, well, what's this note between them called? Well, that's what we call an enharmonic note, E-N-H-A-R-M-O-I-N-C, enharmonic. And it's a note that can have 2 names. Same note, but it can have 2 names. If I'm playing in sharp keys, we'll deal with that a little later too, but G is a sharp key. So if I was playing in the key of G, I would call this, or going up from F to there, that'd be F sharp, F sharp. If I was going from G down, thinking in terms of flats, that would be G flat. So this note here has two names. It can either be F sharp or G flat, because it's between those two, right? It's stretched between, it's right there between them. And the same thing happens here. Here I am at G and A, right? G, A, the note between can either be G sharp or A flat, depending on which way I'm going and what key I'm in. And we'll get to those conventions later. Now let me back up. So why am I wasting your time with this? Remember, we want to learn to play up the neck. And we need to know the names of the notes so we can name the chords and know what part of the chord we're playing. Very important, okay? So we're just starting with here, the nut to the 5th fret. We want to know them all cold, just on these 3 strings to start with, because that's the most important ones for making the bass notes and defining what the chord is, all right? All right, so let's go on one more time. I'll just, so you have this to look at in your spare time. Okay, so A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C, D. Now, so what's this note here? Well, that's either A sharp or B flat. A sharp or B flat. It's got 2 names. Same here. C to D. C, D, C sharp, D flat. Okay, depending on what the chord, what the scale is, what chords are being played, we can call either of those 2 things. Remember, that's called enharmonic, E-N-H-A-R-M-O-I-N-C, enharmonic. So those notes that have 2 names, we can call them either one, okay? But there are some conventions as to when you would use one or the other, all right? So let's go on from there, and let's say G, A, what am I doing, G? Why do I keep calling that G? It's D, it's D. D, E, F, G, D, E, F, G. What's this note right next to the nut? D, D sharp, A, E, D sharp. Or it's going to be E flat, so this one could be either D sharp or E flat. And then between the F and the G, this could either be F sharp or G flat, F sharp or G flat. Now if I play all the notes from, the scale typically has 8 notes, 7 notes and then the octave, right? So it'd be, in G, it'd be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. But if I play all the notes, there's 13 notes, 12 and the octave. That's called a chromatic scale. In other words, we're playing all the notes from one to the other through the octave, up through the same note, when we get finally to the same note. It'd be like if I went like this. That's called a chromatic scale. In other words, I'm playing all the notes, and we use that a lot. Like if I'm doing, here. But I can... That's chromatic, right? Okay, that's why we're learning this, so we can play not only the chords, but the in-between chords, which are called passing chords. But that's on down the road a little ways, all right? So let's go back now, and we're going back to our... So I'm going to leave you with that. That's good. We're done there. Let's play a little bit of Coming Round the Mountain. Remember, now I said to get the punt, we're playing country chords, we're playing cowboy chords. You want to be back here by the closer to the bridge, at least behind the sound hole, because it's stiffer, plumpier. Okay, and remember about holding the pick, not too much sticking out. I hope you're working on all these little fundamental things. All right, let's see. I'll bring it up here. Let's bring up Coming Round the Mountain, and let's see if it'll play. There it goes. Alternate the bass. Everybody, alternate the bass. That guy just won't stop playing, will he? You can't shut him up. You can't shut him up. There we go. So now, so let's review our bass runs there. Did you hear me start to throw them in at the end? If we're just playing it straight, you know, she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she opportunity for bass run comes. So the bass run would be this way, this way. Sorry. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. So I'm going B on the A string, B, C sharp. I'm giving a little leading tone there. I could go, but I like give a little leading tone there to get to that D. Okay, now, what else can I do? I could do this too. I can do A, C sharp, D. Okay, two ways to do that. There's more than two, but that's two I'm giving you. So let's go back to the beginning again. Get back to G, E, F sharp, B, the chord, C, A, B, C, G. Okay, so that's Coming Round the Mountain. Now, I've created a website for use in this course, guitar backup for Duffers, and the website is located at Fiddle School, all one word, fiddleschool.charliewalden.com. And if you go there, you'll see a link, Guitar for Duffers, and click that. There's nothing there yet. I've created the website. I'm going to populate it this weekend. But I'll have these audio files there and that sort of thing. Oh, you know what? Shoot, fire. Heck, fire. You know what? I got to say goodbye to the people who aren't patrons of the Patreon channel, because you're only supposed to get 10 minutes of the lesson, and I've done giving you 15. So I'll say goodbye to you all, you good people, and here's what it's going to look like. And you're just watching live, you're good to go. Okay, so, man, I almost did the whole lesson. Okay, so if you want to become a patron of the program, by the way, go to patreon.com, patreon.com /Charlie Walden. Sign up. It's $4 a month. go find a fiddle lesson for $1 a week. I don't think, or a guitar lesson or a mandolin lesson for $1 a week. I don't think you can do it. So, all right. So let's go back. We were playing another tune last week. What was it? Oh, Sugar in the Coffee. Sugar in the Coffee. So that's let's go back and play a little bit. Let's play along with that a little bit, shall we? Yeah, why don't we? My gosh, I think that's a good idea. It's also in G. Remember? Here comes a D. G. C. D. Back to G. C. Bass run. Look at that. Something new happened there. Something new happened there. Don't start playing again. Don't you do it. Okay, good. All right, so something new happened there. I'm playing the old Missouri rules, you know. Here comes D. Now I'm going to play a bass run, but it's not like a bass run like that's extra notes. It's just in the course of playing the bass line, bum, 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 that same thing. It's so it's more like a walking bass, like you might hear on a bass fiddle. It's not really like a bass lick, you know. So what I did, so on the back half of that tune, if we're playing Missouri rules, it's G, C, D, G, right? So what I'd do is I'd play G, then I'm going to C, so I've got a bass note B, then the C. Playing the E as an alternating bass, and then the F sharp. Let me play it. I'll play the tune, and I'll do that every time through, so you have a good example to listen at. All right, here we go. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Sugar to coffee. All right, just so listen to that, but the lick is this: G, B, C, E on the D string, then D, F, G. So here's the bass notes. Okay, that's a nice moving line. Pat does it on the piano all the time when we're doing the big fiddle show. That's one of her things that she does when we're playing the Missouri rules kind of tunes. All right, so now let's go to Westphalia Waltz. Now, my friend Ed, who lives down in Central Illinois, he called me on the hotline the other day. What's that number? What's that number? He called and left me a message on the hotline, and that message was something to the effect, if I can paraphrase him, how can it be, like with Westphalia Waltz, for instance, that there's so many different ways to accompaniment, so many different choices of chords? Well, Ed, what we're doing, I think I explained this to you a little bit, but I'll explain it to everybody now. So that's a really great question, because on waltzes in particular, there's always a lot of different ways to back up a waltz. Some brighter than others, some prettier than others, some more complicated than others, but it doesn't mean they're wrong necessarily. So the reason is you've got those long-held notes, and there are just oftentimes you can substitute chords around. So let's play. Let me just play you where I would take you in coming times to play this Westphalia Waltz. I'm just going to play it. Play the recording of the fiddle and play it through a couple times for you, so you get an idea of just how much difference there can be in how to accompany these waltzes, especially. So I'll play it simple first. I'll play with just the two chords, just G and D. We had this D. Stop there. Let me just stop right there. Now I'm going to do it what I might call ultra fancy. Hang on. All right, so I'm going to do it what I'd call ultra fancy here, just so you can see what all the crazy stuff is that you might do in this particular tune. Here we go. So where I want to get with on this tune and on a lot of your waltzes is get to where you're playing a new chord every bar, you know, like. But so just looking at those three things, what I'm playing there is I'm playing G. I'll just play regular G, not that movable G, but G to B minor to E to G. Well, it just happens in the world of substituting chords that those chords have very similar set of notes, and so we can actually substitute those around and get a little more interest, you know, get a little more. So that's just, you know, that we can just go da 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 da, which is cool, but it's kind of neat to go da 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 da. Get the idea there? So that doesn't exactly explain the theory behind it, but you get the idea of where we want to take this kind of thing. So let's keep working on the Westphalia Waltz. Remember we had that movable chord form last time? This F sharp 7. Let's see if remember the first finger goes here on the E string. The second finger goes on the second fret. It's piled up on the second fret, folks. Second fret of the D string. The third finger goes on the second fret of the B string, and then the pinky goes right there, and it sounds like that. That's for use in the second part of the tune where it goes. Okay, so keep practicing the tune with the chords with these two movable forms. Whenever you have the D7, try to use this guy, or play around using one or the other. Make it interesting. Remember to alternate the bass. We just do that. Ha! Citizens arrest Tim. Yes. I'll post up this chord progression again at that site I've created at fiddleschool.charliewalden, and then look for the guitar for Duffers. And also I'll put it on my Patreon site right with this lesson, okay, so you have it available. All right, so now let's proceed on. We were going to do a tune called Put Your Little Foot, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play through it a couple times on the fiddle so you have it to hear. And it's another thing in 3/4 time, but it's not really a waltz. It's a couple dance, a varsouvienne they call it, a circle round dance, like you might see in Lloyd Shaw's Book of Round Dances from back in the 40s. So it's in G. Here we go. I'm just going to play it just so you have a recording of it to play against. So forth. So I will post up this audio file too at my Patreon page as well. So you have it to practice along with. So let us see. Let me show you what the chords are on that little sucker there. I'll just kind of sing it. It's a simple tune. It's a simple tune, but again, it's fun. We got to start easy because we're adding things, right? Right? We're adding things. Do 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 do. Okay. So it's G. Up da 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 da. The D, it was B on the second fret, B on the A string to C sharp. So okay, that about does it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the little lesson here. And like I say, feel free to contact me. You can call me on the hotline. Let's see that number again. You can leave me a message there. You can call me. You can text me at that number. You can email me. bigfiddleshow@gmail.com. So we'll see you next time, and I hope to see you tomorrow night for the 70th episode of Possum's Big Fiddle Show tomorrow night, and also for Camp Possum on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12:30. We learn a tune on the fiddle and the mandolin, and we also play along and play a bunch of tunes together. So hope you enjoyed today, and have a nice rest of the week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.